What up, girl?
Imagine seeing you here. What is it, Tuesday night
Oh,
or something?
hey.
Somebody somebody check the time. Is it 7 already on Tuesday?
Girl, how are you?
I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. You're catching me fresh-faced without any foundation or concealer. Yeah, very that face. Like Voldemort, just like
That would be a very good Voldemort impression.
the boy who lived. Oh, we don't talk about that anymore.
Oh, shit. Riding your is this the Eileen Galvin riding the wave of her incredibly successful weekend of drama?
It is. At this point, the best thing is just waiting for the photos to drop. But yeah,
Mm.
everything went off without a hitch. Thanks to all of you. If you came to see me and get a tarot reading or watch me perform, thank you so much.
Yeah. Or if you're your best friend in the entire world, sometimes you get a tarot reading for free if you ask really nice. But that's just for me.
Mm,
And I
I
don't abuse it.
I can neither confirm nor deny. My rates are very reasonable.
Girl, I loved the dish promo. I'm just gonna call it out. If you haven't checked it out, go to our gram because it brought up the two favorite things, which is conflict and quiche.
And oh, I thought you were gonna say the biohazard emoji.
No, but also
Just
that.
kidding. I so seldom have an opportunity to use the biohazard symbol just in casual parlance.
It was accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It was accurate. I have so many bevs tonight. I'm doing a little Pellegrino and a little red wine, you know?
Oh, nice. Very, very eclectic, very balanced, very well balanced.
Very bisexual of me. What are you drinking tonight?
Nothing. I'm empty-handed.
Whoa, hands free.
I know, I'm showing up empty-handed. I listen, you know what? If I'm going to, there's no smooth move tea, there's no bourbon, there's no La Croix, there's no water. I'm just a woman with no beverages.
I have enough beverages for everybody always. Sometimes I do hot tea, ice cold water, and a glass of wine all at once.
Yeah. Girl, that's the
Yeah,
ADHD solution. Have it all. You got
I
something
do
for
have it all. And I love different temperatured beverages.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
I saw some memes. So, like, I paused on one ADHD reel on Instagram. So now Instagram is throwing them all at me. And then,
That's the worst.
yeah, and so the net result of that is I'm like, oh my God, I've had it my whole life. I've never known. I haven't been reading the signs. Everything I do is because of ADHD, which also might be true, by the way, but I think it should give us cause for.
I worry about TikTok University is all I will say.
That's a great way to put it. TikTok U.
Hmm.
I graduated summa cum laude from TikTok U. And look at me now,
Right.
full of life hacks and insights.
And like, just make this soup, put it in eggs and freeze it, and it's your breakfast or some shit. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you guys are crazy.
Yeah, totally. It's like, did you know that if you slap yourself in the face 20 times before you go to bed, you'll be more rested when you wake up? It's stuff like that.
Right. And you're like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I
And that's
respect
why
that.
my
I
face is
respect
so
that.
red, but I'm very rested today.
Matches your shirt.
Yeah. So,
Love it.
girl, what's the occasion that brings us here today? Dearly beloved,
Oh,
we're here to talk about a little
girl.
thing called polyamorous conflict.
Oh my God. And this came from, so real, just full transparency. Eileen and I sometimes come up with these topics organically and we're not as planned. I know it's shocking, but we were talking about, the art of like what it's like to friend folks and to connect with folks romantically or, just, or just, connection in general when you are really managing another person's emotions besides yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like this third entity of the couple and like what the couple wants. And whether it's a double date, whether it's something more complicated, which double dates can also be very complicated. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, oh my God, like everyone has different social batteries. Everyone has different sexual batteries. Like, where are we at? What are we doing? Anyways, it was like, and I was talking about, in particular, they're not watching, trying to like rekindle a connection, like a friendship with this couple. But my partner, currently has never met them. And it's like, oh yeah, like we were friends, and then, shit happens, and we're adults, and no one apologizes. We're just like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? And it's
How
like,
are
oh my
ya?
God, adding this partner into the dynamic, like, is this going to work? And then I'm like, oh my God, like, there's so many different dynamics, and they're like straight and hat and white and cis. And I'm like, like, you know what I mean?
Why are you
like,
talking to this person again?
well,
Just
and
kidding.
where was I the last time we were friends, which was a longer time ago in terms of my like work on things. And I'm like, so anyways, I'm not actually being vague at all. So if they're watching, but it's
And their name
figuring
was.
out, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to figure out. Any insight? We didn't have any insight on the call, which is why we're here. So we're like, well, this is a dish topic.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out on the fly. Girl, I think when you're talking to one other person, that's like checkers. You know what I mean? And then when you are talking to when you add a person into the dynamic, even a third person, then all of a sudden it's like chess. And it's just like, I don't know if that's a good metaphor or not. But like checkers is, I think, get in the chat if you disagree, I think checkers is much easier than chess. It's
Girl!
it's like another order of magnitude of difficulty. Both
Yeah.
require strategy and planning, but chess is like on a whole nother level. And it's sort of like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where you think you're talking to people and all of a sudden like all bets are off and you're just like, I don't know how to relate to this person as our shared entity. Like if you're a couple who's expanding, you have this deep sense of connection and boundaries, and like you've had to work on this dynamic, and then when you're adding to it, it's kind of like, where do you even start? It can be very awkward in the beginning.
Absolutely. And I think like, oh my God, so many things. Well, first of all, I
keep playing with my fringe mullet.
I love it. I'm most clones my heart. So I think it's really interesting because I'm also like balancing what is like a devastatingly beautiful partner who it's quite tiring.
Can confirm.
Thank you for being with me at this difficult time.
Thoughts and prayers.
Like when we're in social situations, like whatever connection I have, there's like, we don't care. But it's so interesting because obviously, like, I love that, and it has always been the reverse for me in terms of like people being like, oh, like I will pull the attention, not because of my looks, but for a myriad of other reasons, and it's just very fascinating because, like, I've often had partners. I always have partners that are introverts. That's always what I'm attracted to. But like, it's just very fascinating to like watch the dynamics of like, right, and then the reverse, true too, which I'm really excited to happen. Which is if someone chooses to talk to me first, which hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty confident it will in 2024. This is my year. This is the year.
I love. Listen, that needs to be a bingo square for all of us. Is like 2020X is my year, because I feel like we're all saying that every year. There's something really interesting in the gestalt of the group dynamic that is more than any of the individual pieces, any of the individuals, the individual people, because it's like, okay, who's coming into this dynamic, and are they an agent of harmony or are they an agent of discord? Like some people, everyone serves a different role. Just like some people are extroverts, some people are introverts, some people are ambiverts. It's like you've got people who are going to shake things up and like ask questions and be spontaneous and fun. And then you've got people who are going to like make sure all the bills are paid, And everyone's important, right. But then those people all relate to each other differently. And the dynamic of two specific people is going to be different than three other specific people in a room together. So I think, the role that I tend to function in, which can be tiring very quickly, is the one who is mediating. Like I can't shut it off. Like I always want to be the mediator too, because I'm always like attuned to the particular group dynamic in the moment. And if things don't feel like they're gelling, if they're not copacetic, then like any other conversation I have about movies or what, the fun, like the fun that we're supposed to be having, is like all of a sudden I'm now derailed in thinking about how to make sure everyone's having a good time, that people are connecting with each other in the right ways, that everyone is getting something meaningful out of the experience. And that's tough. Like, I can't do that for long periods of time. It's very draining.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable business model.
No, it's not. No. The cost profit index is not looking good.
Yeah, and that's really hard. And I think like
that's not a real term. I don't know economics. We tried.
I did. I was like,
You know, the consumer price index, the gross domestic product.
That is an amazing drag name.
Gross domestic product. Oh my god, it's not a name though. You and your like economics drag names. Private sector. Dow Jones. That's a good one though. That's a good one.
Thank you. That's a good one though. Capital gains for a drag king.
Yeah, but they're not names.
It's not. It's such a downer.
Oh wait, I thought of a good one the other day. You ready for this?
Yes.
Anaphylaxis.
Oh, that is good. That is good. I hear the Anna. Yeah, okay, it has a name in it.
She has a gown made of inhalers. And EpiPens. EpiPen earrings.
And her drag sister is Antihistamine.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
See, we had a redemption moment here tonight on the dish.
Thank God. Yeah, I really like this concept of like the group dynamics and like figuring out. I'm the kind of person that I really love social situations, you know, with my partner, but I also really love social situations solo, right? So I think that also is the piece. Like you have to find someone who's like, oh no, go do, like I can't be with someone who needs to be at every social event, which is why I need to be with someone who isn't as social as me, because I do not want you at every one of my events or every one of my things, because it's really important for me to like maintain that. But some people are not like that. And I'm just like fascinated. I'm like, I cannot imagine having any partner at everything social I do. I just can't.
Yeah. Well, just imagine, you viewers at home and also you here in person. Imagine like the difference when you are at an event and you are like trying to find ways to connect with everyone in the, well, you know, as many people as possible in the room as yourself. And then for me, there's this additional thing when I'm there with somebody. I'm now trying to connect with them, understand our group dynamic, and then connect with people both as an individual and as a shared identity. And it's just like, it complicates everything. And it's not bad, but it's just like, sometimes I don't have the energy for all that.
Yeah.
So I'll either, two things will happen. I'll either connect with people more individually and not give the person I'm there with the same amount of attention that I would, or I'll connect with that other person and close off everyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't like when I sense that either is happening, but I definitely like, I can think of a couple instances recently where both of those things happened.
Wow.
Like in the last autumn, I was in a group of people at around like a fire at a friend's house for her birthday party. And I was there, I went together with a close friend. And I was much closer to that person than I was to any of the rest. Some of them I didn't know at all. But I was there with a close friend, and I just talked to her the whole time.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel great about that, because I was like, I should be trying to connect with other people too. But I was like, we had our own thing. We were like riffing. We had our own like little inside jokes going. And yeah, I could sense like other people at a couple of different points were like trying to connect with us. And I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't great. Yeah. Exactly.
Was it shrimp cocktail?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, but that's a good guess. I did have that experience one time with shrimp cocktail. I was in one of those like parties where you sell artisan wine, but like in someone's suburban living room. It was a bunch of suburban moms with like a trunk wine party. And I went with shrimp, and we were the two burlesque performers in like a sea of white housewives. And like
were you performing or just like there?
We were performing in the figurative sense. Like, she was in a jumpsuit with, like, fabric with lips printed on it. and giant sunglasses, and everyone else was just like, "What do you think of the Pinot?" You know what I mean?
First of all, how dare you come for Pinot at this hour?
Pinot Grigio, Pinot Grigio.
Oh, okay.
The other Pinot.
I'm
Whomst
just
is
kidding,
bad.
y'all.
The other Pinot, whomst is bad. Bold takes on the dish tonight.
I'm just kidding, y'all. This is a Beaujolais. So.
Oh.
Who is she?
Who is she?
Sarah Brooke!
Please welcome to the stage, Beaujolais Nouveau.
I would need a beret.
You do.
Anyways.
With a big cluster of grapes on it.
Just eat the grapes.
Yeah.
Home. I think I definitely, I'm definitely losing some social battery. But I'm also like very, I don't know. I'm really interested in figuring out my social battery in these intimate settings.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I love who I become in like small groups, right? And like who I gravitate to. And I love that. But what I'm struggling with in my adulthood now more than ever is like the maintaining of without getting a million fucking apologies. I literally, one of our favorite visitors and guest host at one point of the dish, Joseph, like apologized to me for like not calling. And I was like, I reject your apology. Like, I just feel like there's some give and take in adult relationships that just like have to come into play. And I'm like, that's also a thing because like my partner has less like social bandwidth. So if I can get them to agree to a social event and then it gets canceled, I like get mad. And it's like, well, that's not really fair. You know what I mean? But it's really not about me. I'm like borrowing that trouble. So I think there's also that dynamic of like, especially when you have someone new who fills your social battery but drains your partner's, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, my partner has a friend who drains me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, go. Like, I don't want to hang out with them.
Yeah, I think that's the solution. The solution is just most of the time you don't hang out with them together. You just split the difference and you say, listen, every once in a while it'd be nice to catch up with them and maybe we can find a way to double date or, figure that out or whatever. But we don't have to do it all the time. And that's okay. Because I think, as you get older, you know how I love like line graphs. As you get older, your social battery has less capacity, but you have more in terms of like management strategies and boundary setting. So you can say, like, hey, I've got very limited amount of energy, but that's okay because we can set up the circumstances where you get what you need, which is to go hang out with this person and water that friendship, water that relationship.
Yeah.
And I'll stay home. I agree with you. In my 20s, I feel like I had maybe a car battery. And now in my life, I feel like I have like a little rechargeable AAA.
I have like a watch battery that dies.
Yeah, you have a little watch battery. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you can't even recharge it, it just dies.
I'm just like,
seriously.
Yeah. So what do you do when you have a friend who feels differently, like a new friend who's kind of like figuring out the dynamics between you and your partner? Do you like talk to them about it or do you just kind of let them figure it out and like every man for himself in like terms of
Oh, I mean, Brooke, you know me. I've leaned more and more heavily towards radical transparency, where I just kind of want to get it out there if possible.
Yeah.
And I'm not always perfect at that, but like if I sense tension, I kind of want to like sniff it out, like a truffle pig.
Like a truffle pig.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is that? Like Penny? Oh no. Oh, where is the patron truffle pig of Covered Dish? Where is she? How's she doing?
She is behind the camera. It is her 12th birthday tomorrow.
12. Aw.
And she is celebrating by getting sedated at the vet for a double ear cleaning because she has 2 different bacterial infections and yeast infection in both ears.
Listen, 24 hours ago, I want to be sedated. You should get her a Ramones t-shirt. She'd be so hip. She'd be so cool.
She would bite the hand that handed her the Ramones t-shirt. She is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Anyways, I love radical transparency on that. And I think it's like, hey, this is, you know what I mean? I think it's like, where's that line between being like, hey, this is our dynamic, and hey, I'm crossing a boundary on my partner and our boundaries.
Yeah. Well, and then you also have to kind of manage that with your partner too, because, um, you know, without revealing too much, ladies, I think sometimes there's a possibility of someone's feelings being hurt when it's like, well, why don't you want to hang out with me and that person? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, the honest truth is the radical transparency is the dynamic changes.
Right, right.
It's just a different dynamic. You're going to talk about different topics. You're going to be focused on other things. And you have to treat it like it's a different kind of engagement because it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? And I think it's like, oh, let's figure out what this looks like.
Yeah. Well,
in
and good or
terms of-
good or bad, it's just the reality.
Right.
So you kind of have to deal with it one way or the other.
Girl, yes.
Girl.
All right, top 3 things not to bring up on a double date. A first double date. Risky, and I'm doing.
Oh,
So-
I'm really bad about this. So yeah, I would say if you have the tendency, if you have a drink and it's like truth serum for you and you just start divulging like very deep personal things,
Mhm.
then maybe watch that. Yeah. You know how, like, you know that story of how I love to like go to the bar and talk to a stranger and just ask them like very personal questions and like divulge very personal information. That's great when it's a stranger at the bar that you may or may not see again. But if you're trying to like establish a new relationship, you might just want to keep that in check. Maybe save that for night 2.
Mm. Mm. Good advice. Good advice.
I mean, specific things. Yeah. Pass. And you know when you're trying to think of something and everything you say is not something you want to say live on camera?
Yo! Go back to our one night stand episode if you're looking for any of the things that were running through Eileen's head in that exact moment.
Yeah.
No, I think
Kink at Pride. Watch that. That's a throwback. That's like episode 23.
That's a throwback.
It's still the featured It's still the featured video on our YouTube channel, and I think it's one of our best moments, honestly. The wig alone. The wig game was very strong.
It was. You know, our Jello mold game was strong, then the wig game was strong, and now here we are.
Yeah, and now we're just like serving you hot piping truths. And Brooke is smoldering. Oh. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm ready for like, Crate and Barrel or something. Hi, welcome to Crate and Barrel. How can I help you? I've got a nice, like, interesting fringe mullet going on.
Yeah, no, I think, like, I don't know. I think sometimes in those dynamics of new dynamics, we always try to show off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, it's always trying to figure out what not to say and what not to do. And it's a lot.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas on that subject, Brooke? I'm still trying to think. I'm still going through the...
No, I think, like, I don't know. I think it's so weird because, I don't think about myself as someone who says things that are, like, really controversial. I'll give you an example. So, new friend, formal setting. Okay?
Formal setting, okay.
Formal setting. And a gay guy goes up to my partner.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, a gay guy goes up. What's going on with this lighting?
Okay. There you go. We're back.
A gay guy goes up to my partner, and if you do not know any of the people I've ever dated, this will be news to you. But frequently, the people I date are mistaken for men.
They get spammed.
Sometimes they transition to big men.
Yes.
Quite frequently, actually. So this is not.
It's been known to happen. That's how we met. And then I transitioned to be a man. I'm just kidding. Although ultimately I did decide to remain a woman. So
this is my gift. This is my talent. So I am used to gay men going up to the people I am partnered with and hitting on them. And then they open their mouth or they see their breasts or something happens or something. And they're like, you're a woman. Right? And there's this moment. So in the formal event, this happened. And a gay man went up to my partner, who is the chief diversity officer of a Fortune 100 company. And he like hit on her. And then he realized she was a woman. And then he kind of stuck with it. And they talked for like a half hour. And I was like, I tried to butt in. And he's like, okay. So that's not even who the friend is about. But then later, in front of the new friend, I made a joke. And I was like, oh, yeah, she always gets mistaken for a man. And it's whatever. But they always are hitting on her. And this new friend is like, what? And I was like, yeah. Well, like my comfortability with gender and the presentation, and the farce of gender. The farce of gender. You know what I mean? Just the
Sounds like a great Broadway show. Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. And I'm like, whatever. And they are like mortified. And I'm like, why? And it's just like, all at once, it was like, oh, you're too comfortable with gender in terms of how ridiculous it is for like the common people of this country. Like, you're just like, well, I don't think so. She's a woman. And I'm like, no, it's fucking fine.
Yeah. Well, Brooke, there's a lot of things that we deal with that are everyday realities, and that also our partners deal with in everyday realities, that for some people, if you haven't had to think about it before, it can be devastating, you know? Deeply uncomfortable. And so I guess to add to the list of something that I shouldn't bring up on a first double date with somebody is like maybe just like it's good to talk about personal experiences, like memories in your life, but maybe not where they intersect with like oppression, discrimination. Yeah. Like maybe save that for a little later. By the way, if you do want to talk about it, like the responsibility to manage somebody else's feelings around that is not, you know, it's not ours to own.
I don't think it's that deep. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, that is what took you down?
Doesn't take much sometimes.
Girl, people are so fragile. Like.
Mm-hmm. How Italian.
Thank you.
That was like poetry. Oh, where do we go from here?
Girl, we close out. We're almost at 7:30. What? Who is she? Shameless plug, though, before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely shameless. I will be opening for Deanne Smith from the Hannah Gadsby Netflix special, The Gender Agenda.
Ooh.
You all saw that. So Deanne is coming to town. Shouts to Angie Healy and Shatterbox Comedy. We are going to be performing on May 24th at 8 p.m. It features A.S. Green, Bianca Moore, Moa, and Angie Healy.
What a great lineup.
Incredible set by Deanne. So
where is this?
You have, it's at the hashtag Comedy Theater.
Where's that? I've never heard of it.
I don't know.
We will find out offline and let you know.
I know. We'll post it on our gram, but shameless plug if you're in Columbus. And then if you're not in Columbus on June 21st, I'll be on an LGBTQ Juneteenth show at the Performing Arts Center in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale. So lots of opportunities to see me in Columbus and Fort Lauderdale.
Wow, that sounds like a great time.
Girl, fly down.
Yeah, girl, we'll have to post it in the story. Yeah, so everyone has a chance to come see it. Do you know I am going to go do a show in Lakewood for Shrimp Cocktail in May. I'm really excited about that.
Ooh, what is that?
And it's called The Birds and the Boobies.
Oh, cute. So shrimp.
So if you ever wondered whether or not burlesque is high art, now you know. It absolutely is.
And it's happening in Lakewood, Ohio.
Yes, it's on May 31st.
Oh my goodness, so many chances to watch.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in every week on The Dish. Next week, join us for a special in-person dish.
In-person dish. Ooh, what a treat. And so until then, we'll just have to leave you to imagine what it's going to be like to see us again.
Or just watch old episodes.
Yeah, or just go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.